noticing a trend here.
Mm-mm. You know, Monday and Tuesday were the snow days.
Yeah, it's interesting how that plays out.
So why do we have an empty Travis chair again?
I'm sure it's our fault,
Mm-hmm.
or
Oh,
something of the like. Is that
systematic racism.
there? It is. I think that's what's the case. Good morning. Hello. I'm Chris Denman.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks to Tech Electronics for helping us get things off the ground right here in the studio. Be sure, if you are in the St. Louis area, check out techelectronics.com and look at their job openings. That's right. Tech Electronics has positions available today. They helped us get our studio ready, but they do a lot more than that. Emergency systems, tech, internet services, all kinds of different things at Tech Electronics. They can help your business today. I'm excited to be here. It's Midcoast Studio in Grand Center. It's comedy night tonight. Tell you more about that quickly. We'll say hello officially to the great Chris Gardner. Hello, Chris.
Good morning, gentleman. I hear the elevator. That might be Travis on his way.
Right. What's he going to do when he comes in? Is he going to be playful or is he going to be, man, it's a long night? Like, what to do? What's the move? Where's he go?
That's a tough call.
Yeah, it's a tough one because he does the thing where he's like, "Ugh," so you'll leave him alone.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
His eyes.
yeah. Oh,
rubbing his
right. It's like
head.
why are you?
Why are you annoying me with
Yeah,
work today?
right. Like, how dare we interrupt him?
Oh.
Or
Oh.
it's gonna be like, hey,
Yeah.
my bad.
Oh, nothing. What are you talking about? Nothing ever happened.
Right.
You imagined everything
Mm-hmm.
in your racist minds.
There it is.
Good morning, Walnuts.
Hey, good morning.
Yeah, a little longer since he's not here today or
For
yet.
like double coverage.
There we go.
There
Thank
it
you.
is.
Thank
Okay.
you.
I love that part of the show.
I know.
What's on your mind today? Holidays are nearing. You got all kinds of stuff coming up.
I have some shopping left to do.
Do you?
I was hoping that it would be deliverable stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but it is not.
You gotta go pick it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go to the mall. I'm gonna have to go to Galleria.
Just go to the mall.
Yeah,
Why?
because I need to go to a particular store.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go there.
And you're doing that today?
maybe- No,
Soon?
I'll probably go on the weekend
Ooh,
when everyone's out.
even worse.
I used to like really shopping on Christmas Eve. Loved shopping on Christmas.
Why?
Because I
I legitimately was going to ask you, have you been to a mall on Christmas Eve?
yeah, I go a little later too. Because then there's not as many people.
Do you like seeing the mall workers nearing a very depressed level of existence?
I don't really need their help at that point. I know what I'm going in for, so I can get in and get out. Normally,
Okay.
it would have been like 3 stores or something. I've already scouted what I need, what I'm targeting, and I would just go in, get it, and get out. Now, it used to be when I was younger, I would go with my dad, my Uncle Bill, and my cousin Michael every Christmas Eve. We would go shopping for gag gifts. And so they would take us, even as youngsters, to like Dr. John's and some of the sexual type stores. And then
That explains so much.
we would go and grab lunch at Hooters. So that was kind of a tradition. Oh. Oh, hello, Travis.
Speaking of tradition,
Mm-hmm.
Option 2 is what he went with.
Hey, that's a good transition though. Nice.
good morning.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. No rubbing of the head. No sighing,
looks
Gardner.
good. That looks good. We were wondering how you were going to be acting when you got in.
Yeah.
Was it going to be, hey, let's have fun? Nothing
He's
ever
wearing
really happened.
the high school
I'm going to wear
football
these wide receiver gloves I stole from a high school
Gloves.
kid.
again.
Or is it going to be,
Oh man. Nobody bothered me.
you guys annoyed me with this show?
Which one do you guys want?
No, I like this one because the other one I just am like, well, then why am I here? You can just bitch and be on the camera alone. I like this one. Is this the one you prefer, Gardner, or do you like
It depends.
do you like toiling and?
It depends on what mood I'm in.
So I can't feel like I can't be
No,
under the
no,
weather?
no.
Or
We're not
Oh,
talking
here we
about-
go.
no.
Here we go. No, no, no.
I
Yeah,
don't know
yeah,
about
Trav,
that.
go.
I just, okay. Didn't realize.
No,
I
go
had
on.
that.
I want to hear more.
We've slipped it. He came with option 2. Now he's slipping to 1.
Yeah, variety. I like it.
I am just human, and I hate that I'm judged so egregiously for being that.
Ah, he said egregious. Now here we go.
What does it mean? Here we go. Where are we going? What have
I
You
don't know.
slipped
We
to
never
option
know.
1.
Can I get a clear definition of what these options are?
There's 2 things.
There's 2 things. Okay.
There's what you just did, where it's, hey, haha, I'm silly, and don't make fun of me. Hey, I'm late sometimes. That's fun.
And that was yesterday too. When
Right.
you came in and you kind of crawled up,
Yeah.
your head popped up.
Right.
Or
Glare hit me.
Oh God. Okay.
or there's the deflective. Been a long one, fellas.
sometimes there's a
And
long.
then it's like, oh, are you doing okay? And then it's like, well, I mean, the show's already started, but you're just like, I'm here now.
Yeah.
All right,
Let's just get through
all
it.
right, let's get to it.
Let's grind.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever think this is kind of.
I think it's very accurate.
You know what I do enjoy though,
What's
Travis?
that?
Your dedication to the scarf.
Thank
now.
you.
And the gloves are so strange, so strange.
I just wanted a week
No,
where I felt like I still had it, where I felt like I could still get out there and be the athlete that I was.
Did you ever have it?
Oh, I did.
Mm-hmm.
I did. When I say, I won't say that I was on the same path as a Jason Tatum or
thank you for not saying that.
Yeah.
That would be
or
embarrassing.
Brad Beal.
Okay. Yeah, because I never heard your name or saw your name in any of the recruiting websites that I
I
viewed.
didn't want.
Yeah,
that.
stats online.
How many stars were you?
I think it was 2.
That's so tough to believe. Former All-American defensive tackle Lorenzo Williams, who played in the NFL, was a 2-star.
Yeah.
That's a perfect response. Yeah. And what?
Yeah, that's there he is.
Tom Brady was a 6th round draft pick.
Uh-huh.
I didn't think of it like
See,
that.
so-
I'd like to take this time to apologize.
Sam Bowie was drafted by the Trailblazers.
Sam
So
Bowie.
I could just yell out when people were in the
Sam
NFL.
Bowie.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
What's the big deal? It's I just feel like with these gloves on,
That you stole from a high schooler.
I didn't steal. I don't have to think about me stealing from a high schooler. First of all, they would shoot me first.
Second of all, remember whenever you used to go play basketball at the Jewish Rec Center and run roughshod over 13-year-old Jewish kids?
I won't say I did that.
Yeah.
The last time you went, would you have 2 points? But then you said, I had 8 rebounds.
When I played
I was
last,
cleaning the glass.
All right.
It was a
found
couple
out-
months
played-
ago.
And they found out he was playing with asthmatic 11-year-olds.
when I played with the Jewish kids, I put up 9 points.
Okay.
9 points, 4 boards, 3 assists.
Would you play to 11?
That was a full game, man. 4
You
quarters.
scored 9 of the 11. Oh, you played 4 quarters, full
Yeah,
court?
Yeah.
When
And
was
it was
this?
about me getting involved, and it was also
That's
about
$12
being.
million a year in the NBA.
Thank you.
That's a lot. Your load management seems like they're working you hard.
Oh no! See, I played all 4 quarters because at the end of the day, it's about.
the end of the
it's
day.
like what LeBron said. You know, you just never know what kid's gonna show up to the basketball arena that night that saved up all his hard-earned money
From
to buy a ticket to just see him, and that's how I feel when I step out on the court. It's not about.
Wasn't he like taking games off on the
did
road
a lot
and
of that.
stuff?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Very
because
guilty of
because of
that.
injury. Injury, you can't play
So does
when
that
you're
load
injured.
management thing.
No, when you're injured, you can't play. I don't know if you guys. I know you guys not being athletes. That's difficult to understand. You playing the little girly boy tennis game, and I don't know. You roll your ankle every time you step out of your
What do you
car.
mean
so I
by
don't
girly
know.
boy? Why don't you tell all your woke friends what that
Mm-hmm.
means?
That means.
You call him a pussy?
Yeah. Why don't you tell all your women friends what that means?
Oh,
too?
they know what it is. That's
Okay.
that's what they call it.
Okay.
But to each his own. You guys, whatever makes you feel young. You wear your senator flatbed. That's you. You're showing your defiance against the man, Chris. Wears a a suit vest and jeans because he's going to be a substitute teacher at a junior high here in the city at some point. He's going to turn the chair around and tell those kids, "Hey, straighten up your life and pull up your pants."
Unroll my sleeves so they can see my tattoos. Yeah.
Like, look, hey, I got Saint Gabriel. I don't know. That's what Catholics do. Oh no, I got a tattoo of a saint. It's Otis. Is that how it works?
Saint Otis?
Saint Otis.
What's he the saint of?
The saint of
It's not time.
five cheese macaroni.
5 cheese macaroni. With or without the buffalo sauce added?
You can have some buffalo sauce.
All right.
Don't
Doing
threaten
it
me with a
Otis
good
style.
time.
Yeah, give it Otis style. Our friend Tom Brown theorizing why Travis is late. That's racist as hell.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
that's fair.
Royce is a big fan of Dr. John's and your Hooters tradition.
Yeah.
Gardner?
I don't know when we ended that. I can't remember.
It's very strange. Now,
It
the
is
Hooters
strange.
trip I can appreciate.
Uh-huh.
That was a thing. Like people, yeah, right? Like, dude,
Yeah.
whenever you were the head of Hooters,
Yeah.
did a lot of dads bring in their like 10-year-old sons and stuff probably?
They didn't bring. It's like they would bring in the baseball teams.
Yeah.
That was a thing.
My
But
dad took me there when I was younger. I still remember my first visit.
I look back and
But then again, my dad would take me to horseshoe tournaments at bars when I was 5.
but that
Putting
wasn't.
the puzzle together. a
But
lot
that
smarter.
that wasn't anything outside of just how your family lived.
Yeah.
So that's in their wheelhouse. So I can understand families doing things like that. What I think is odd when you go out of your way, go out of what you are to try to do that with your family and your
yeah.
kids. But your dad's that's his personality.
Yeah, we ain't no phonies.
Right.
Now, as a child, when you're in Dr. John's, do they give your dad a weird look when you come in?
What's Dr. John's again? I'm sorry.
Oh, it's a sex shop.
Oh.
So like, are you?
Oh, so your
It's like-
dad
Is
would
it
take you inside
Like
the.
lingerie and stuff.
Oh,
No,
but
no,
it
no,
wouldn't be
no,
like what
let's-
we know
no
now
one-
as adult stores.
No, it is. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, no.
It'd have,
9-year-old Gardner, were you running up the aisles with dildos in your hand?
no, I don't remember seeing dildos.
But you don't remember seeing. But do you remember seeing
Because
like?
my dad would they would buy like the thong underwear for men that was, it'd be like an
And then
elephant
make
on
you
it
wear
with
it?
like a.
Was he doing it because he was doing some serious shopping, or he was trying to introduce his
They
children?
they would hand out gag gifts to certain people.
Gag gigs, okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha,
so
gotcha.
they would.
I
We
thought
would
about
go
a
there.
gag. You know what I mean,
Oh,
right? Sorry, that was probably inappropriate with that joke.
Yeah, that wasn't a very athletic move by you.
Sorry, my bad. But so your father, as a gag for Christmas, would go purchase these items from Dr. John's.
Yeah, my
and
dad
you guys
and
would be
my
tagging
uncle,
along.
and then my cousin and I would be along for the ride.
What did you think? Did you understand what was happening? Did you understand the
kind
joke?
of, yeah.
You understand the punchline?
Yeah.
And when you were inside the store, do you recall seeing nudie pictures?
No, I remember I do think that the people that worked there would kind of just walk me around some.
Is it
Just
walk you
'cause-
around to avoid certain areas of the store?
Maybe.
Okay. I would imagine that's why they walked you
I
around.
was
They
a
were
very-
like, hi, little fella, let's not go down that aisle.
When I was younger, I was very chatty.
I can see that.
Like I would, my grandparents would take me on these road trips because my uncle played soccer at Mizzou. We would go travel to various Big 12, Big 8 cities for his games, and I was obsessed with hot tubs. So I would go up just
the hotels.
to the front desk at the hotels, and if they didn't ask if they had a hot tub, or I would talk to the people, the concierge or whoever, I would just go up and start talking to them. It'd be like, well, maybe next time when I'm here, you guys will have a hot tub by then, and, stuff like that. And I would just wander around talking to people, and I just was chatty and would strike up a conversation
What a
with
sociable
anyone.
child.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was pretty annoying for my
Yeah, I'm
parents
sure
at
it
times.
was.
But then there's other times.
You got to learn
where-
how to use the energy. My brother would get chatty with people, and it would be used if we were at a public event.
Uh-huh.
And I wasn't feeling particularly social, and maybe there's a woman that keeps clapping loud and talking to me. You just trade seats, and then my little brother would talk her ear off. Like, oh, you want to play? we got a
There you
a
go.
younger version he'll talk to you. Yeah.
But then, I don't know. I was weird too. Like I would be pretty reserved at times though too. If I was in a situation where sometimes where I didn't know people, I would kind of sit back and observe some. I don't make any sense.
You're a strange guy.
Yeah, that's what.
We do have some comments. Big Mike grew up at Hooters, which explains a lot. He says, Roy's saying that tennis is one of the hardest sports he's ever played.
It is hard.
Matt McElrath, our buddy, says that Travis's gloves look great. And he
Thank
doesn't
you.
care if you took them from a child. They're better on you anyway.
Thank you.
Do you
Y'all
really
care
feel
so
like
much
that?
about these damn kids y'all ain't never met.
Yeah, but
Well, it's
the kid would
strange.
probably put the gloves to better use than you
How?
because they're more
Why, so
likely.
they can wipe off the murder weapon?
they're
No.
more athletic than you. They actually play sports.
I play sports.
Nah, not really.
Parcheesi is a sport.
It's more like a hobby for you now. I mean, it's not like you have a future in sports.
I mean, I thought about going out for the XFL, but I really
Really?
am committed to what we're doing here.
That'd be a funny video.
Are you?
I am very, very committed to.
This is commitment.
Look, man, you come
Here
in.
we go. Here
you
we go.
come in late. You leave early. That's the.
got it,
If that's
man.
not commitment, I don't know what is.
I think you both nailed it there.
There we go.
Oh, man.
Well done, gentlemen.
Thank you. What do we have a Great American Race today?
Yeah, we do. We'll do it in the second
Okay,
hour.
all right, cool. I'm very excited.
Why?
No, I'm just very excited. I'm looking forward to having a fun, delightful conversation about where we stand with each other's race.
Oh.
Will this won't be will this be the last one before the new year?
It might be.
Oh boy.
So
Okay.
this could be it.
This could be it, Chris. We're going to determine today who was the Great American Race of 2020.
Oh, we're doing a year.
Well, I don't know if it's a year. I feel like if I understand the standings correctly, I think we've alternated months,
We've done okay.
and so I think that would leave us at a tie. I'm not certain, but
We're ballparking it right
yeah,
now. That's
we
fine.
are. All right. I just thought there's another story in the rundown that I'm delightful, that I found delightful that I would love for us to jump into.
Well, of course.
May I?
Yeah, and I think I'm probably excited too.
Yeah. Chris, as we all know, we talk about this a lot here in St. Louis. The outdoor concerts at Busch Stadiums are just a hit with the locals, a certain group of the locals especially. And so there was a major announcement yesterday
Oh,
from
major,
the-
yes.
for the folks at Busch Stadium. And of course, we're always hoping that there's something that will truly bring out everyone in the community.
Inclusion.
Inclusion. It's about bringing us all together, bringing in artists that unites all of the communities in St. Louis. And in doing so, the Cardinals and Busch Stadium announced that they're bringing in Def Leppard, Motley Crue, Poison, Joan Jett as the stadium tour, June 25th, Busch Stadium 2020.
It's like a good concert.
So
Here's the thing. You're right. It is actually probably going to be for people who
Well
are
attended.
Motley Crue. Oh,
obviously.
so you pair that one.
So I was ready to this was a joke for a long time, right? We were just teasing. It was very obvious as to the themes of previous shows.
Well, I
and
mean,
the
you pair
artists that
that
they
one
invited.
with another one that's coming next year, the Chillaxification Tour, Kenny Chesney and Florida Georgia Line.
Here's why I can't get on my soapbox as much as I really want to about this, because stadium tours are very difficult to book. And if you're going to have one, you got to be able to have artists that can bring in, 50,000 at least?
Mm-hmm.
So that really narrows the pool in general. So there aren't a ton of artists in general that are doing stadium tours that can bring in 50,000. So I'm giving them that benefit of the doubt just a little bit, because while hip hop very popular, there aren't a lot of hip hop acts or even R&B acts or even pop acts that do stadium tours. Right? So I can't go completely, that's racist as hell, because there
Usually
is a serious variable that plays a part in putting together these type of massive concerts. With that being said,
This is the Cardinals. Please say, having said that.
having said that,
Thanks, Mozilla.
they do realize that the acts that they're bringing to Busch Stadium are very, very, very Caucasian, right? That's all I want the Cardinals to acknowledge. Is acknowledge we recognize that the events that we have put on are traditional acts that have catered to a segment,
A demographic.
a very particular demographic. Just acknowledge that. And then they can say, having said that, we have attempted to reach out to the Beyoncés and the Bruno Mars in order for them to perhaps do a stadium event here at Busch Stadium. That's all I want. All I want to know is that you tried and you did the math and you looked at the situation and said, we can get this person, but will that bring in 40,000, 50,000? I just want to know that the effort's being made, because right now it looks like they have decided we're going to triple down on all of this. We're not necessarily worried about the segment of the population that probably won't enjoy these acts. We're going to focus on this particular demographic.
I have a question.
Okay.
Because I need to know. I don't want to do any white knighting or anything like
Right,
that. But I'm.
What if they were? What if all the bands went by like Lil Motley Crue
Oh, here we
for
go.
the day?
Here you go. Here you go. Couldn't help yourself, could you?
Lil Def Leppard? Lil Poison. That actually sounds pretty
Couldn't
good.
help yourself.
Put a Z in there.
You're trying to tell me Lil Poison doesn't sound good.
Actually, that's
Okay.
That's a good name.
Yeah. So that's all I'm saying. What if I just don't know if it's my place to write it, but what if I were to write a letter to the sound off at the Post-Dispatch?
That would, I honestly believe, and I'm not even trying to be funny. If you want to do that at some point today, we should.
Now here's my question: am I the person to do that though, or
I think
does it need to be a person of color?
I think it's more impactful if it comes from you.
Because I don't want Black Twitter to get mad at me or say I'm white knighting or anything.
No.
Well,
Chris is going to call you a coward.
Oh, that's fine, but I'm used to that. I'm desensitized to it.
More than I call him a coward every day.
So I don't want. I wake up in the morning and look in the mirror and ask myself, how can I avoid the wrath of Black Twitter?
That's fair. That's a fair question to
And
ask yourself.
I'm asking you how I can
I don't
do
think it
this
needs to be
and
white-knighted.
do that.
I will say, it's. I don't know.
What if I sign it instead
what I
of
think would
Dorothy
be-
Light, it's Donald Light?
What I think would be better is find out who books it. Number one.
I think I know who it is.
Find out who books it, and then ask them the business of it. Just be like, hey, this is a question I have, or that I've noticed. Is this
Notice that since 2008, Paul McCartney is still the most relatable concert, most interesting concert to any minority community within the area.
All right, let's see. I'm going to go through the list of artists because again, I'm not going. The reason why I'm
Here's what I-
full-throated is because I don't believe. Obviously, I don't think it's a concerted effort for them to do this. I do believe they do recognize that
Concerted. Nice.
Thank you.
Because it's concerts.
Exactly. I believe though that it is very annoying to everybody else here who would love to go to a stadium concert. They would like to have some answers. I guess I just want a little bit more transparency and understanding how they do go about and booking these shows. Only because there is a theme. There is a theme. It's obvious, and you've made the point when you guys sit up in that marketing room or when you make these phone calls. It's very clear that you have a demographic in mind. That goes without saying, right?
Sells tickets,
so
yeah.
The thing we want to know: are you trying?
There you go. That's all I want to know. That's all I want to know. If you, and again, it's all
Or
about.
are these like? Are you saying, oh, there's no way we can get Beyonce? Let's just move on to Def Leppard and Motley Crue. and
Right,
Poison.
that's my thing. If that's the thing that
Is
I'm going to
that
be,
your priority?
that's what I'm going to be frustrated with. If you're telling me, because I don't, like I said, I would imagine it also is about the tour itself. It isn't just this special show where they're just putting on this show for St. Louis and Busch Stadium. It's these guys are doing stadium tours that summer so they can fit Busch Stadium into their schedule. So I get that.
And I guess they were selling out some other places and then added like St. Louis and Busch
Right.
Stadium to their list. So it looked like ticket sales were doing well for this kind of tour, which good.
I don't know who would do a stadium.
But
I think
it's just very noticeable when you say since 2008, Paul McCartney is that artist. When you think of all
Right.
the other concerts that have occurred, it's
Right.
just it stands out,
it does.
and it's hard to avoid when it stands out that greatly. And I would be curious to know if they've made efforts. And what I did too, I was trying to see because we don't know who's all on going on tour next year, right?
Right. We don't know the thing.
And there are some that would have crossover appeal. There's rumors of Justin Bieber doing something. I think that would
What's
have.
your answer?
But I think.
I'm looking for I'm looking for something.
But I think
I'm
to your
looking for someone to replace Paul McCartney. Is all I'm looking for.
And I think what happens here with these stadium tours, and again,
Maybe.
and I understand the predicament the Cardinals are in. They're also saying like we
But
only
is
have
this
this
the
window of
Cardinals,
time.
or is this, or do the Cardinals just lease this to a booking or Live Nation?
I feel like
or
the Bush.
something
I
else?
feel like the Cardinals have some.
Cardinals don't have a
There's a-
guy.
I'm about to
There's
say
a
the Cardinals.
person there.
Yeah, I'm about to say I feel like the
That does
Cardinals.
their event
yeah,
stuff?
this is
Yeah.
their thing.
But typically, what you have is you have that, and then you go through Live Nation.
I've asked a few questions.
Oh, okay.
Now, so there is someone. Now, are they working in concert with someone else? That's quite possible, but there is someone that is making decisions on these things there.
Now here's
And
some,
I would like to know more about that from this person before casting complete judgment.
Now, do you guys think? So we have a comment that says they don't think 40,000 people would come see Beyonce outside.
Oh,
Outside.
you got crazy. Yeah, Beyonce literally sold out 70,000 people at the Dome.
They went on a stadium
Beyonce
tour.
doesn't want to be outside.
What I'm saying is Beyonce.
was in a
People said
dome.
40,000 people come out. They got 70,000 people at the Dome. So there will be plenty of people that will come out to see Beyonce outdoors. She's done outdoor tours. She just recently came off an outdoor tour, outdoor
Then there you
stadium
go.
tour.
Then
Yeah,
that's
So,
she,
but
she did a stadium tour last year.
She
For
did
the
2
stadiums?
stadium tours. She's done back-to-back stadium tours in the last 2 years. She did one with her husband last year.
Because there's a rumor about I saw because I was looking at potential tours.
Mhm.
I don't know what the tours look like exactly
Right.
or if they're stadium.
Right.
But I saw Rihanna as a possibility.
Right.
never heard of her.
There was a few others. I'd have to
Well,
go back
hell,
and
the
look at
way
the
that
article.
she sold out Enterprise, you could probably got Billie Eilish to probably maybe get almost 40,000.
Billie Eilish was another
That's your
option.
answer?
No,
I would be
does it
more diverse than
does
what
it
you're getting
replace
right
Paul
now with-
McCartney. We're looking to look.
Yeah.
We're not looking for the end all be all.
Right.
We're looking for someone that could replace Paul McCartney.
We want
as
people
that
like
one.
it's okay to have 25-year-olds come
And I
to
don't
your
know if
concerts.
Billie Eilish
It's okay.
actually is that person.
I don't know if she's that person, but I think because she's a phenomenon and she's one of the hottest artists in the world right now,
Mm-hmm.
and she does have major crossover appeal, I think you could get close to 35, 40,000 people who would show up for that concert. I'll go. One, because it's not Def Leppard and Poison, but because she's one of the biggest artists currently in the world. So
I mean,
wanted
would 40,000 people show up to Rihanna?
Yes. I believe so. I believe
Does
so.
she do those to kind of show?
I know,
do
she
those
doesn't
That's
do-
what I'm
well, we-
saying theoretically.
But
here.
but to guard
Seems like a lot.
But again, I'm giving the
But I don't
Cardinal.
know.
I'm giving the people who put this event on the benefit of the doubt because then also you're still looking at outdoor tours during also the baseball season. So you also have to make sure that you're not.
There's existing relationships.
Exactly.
Like 2008 is not that long in a industry. Look, I'm not even taking out for them. I'm just trying to understand it. There's usually reasoning for this because these businesses, companies, whatever. While we are, but here's the problem: you're dealing with. You're thinking of what you perceive to be the Cardinals' morality thing or whatever. Like, no, I'm guessing you're thinking some people at the Cardinals aren't into hip hop. Gardner, I'm asking. Like, do you think that's the influence? My thought is like these people that put on shows are just going to chase money. Like they just want money. So whatever it is, there wouldn't be some weird looming cloud to be
I
like.
think, but I'm very leery of that idea because one.
Well, but then I stop and I go, 2008. I mean, that is a while.
Well, I'm thinking, who are some of the major consumers? The number one consumer of hip hop in America are white women. And so you can get plenty of people from the St. Louis area to go to these hip hop shows. Now, I'm not casting aspersions because I don't think that's fair because I know, look, I worked at the University of Missouri's College of Music. So I understand trying to book these shows, how difficult they can be, especially
yeah.
with, everybody's schedule changes and things can be very fickle. These artists can be very fickle about how they tour. We just saw Chance the Rapper cancel his entire 35-city tour
Yeah.
to focus on family ticket sales. But fact of the matter is that I want them to, as Gardner acknowledged, I just want them to say, hey, we do understand that there has been a consistent theme over the years with some of the performers we bring to Busch. To be completely clear and transparent, this is how we go about in trying to book these shows. And again, like I said, what are you going to do if Drake's not on tour? What are you going to do if Janet Jackson's not on tour? What are you going to do if Beyonce's not on tour? I get that. Those are the three artists I can think right now off the top of my head that could probably do 40,000 easily without a blink in the eye. But again, what are you going to do if Beyonce's not going on tour? Also, Beyonce, one of the most busiest artists on the planet. So like that's a very difficult thing to do. I just want them to acknowledge and let everybody else know that, hey, we are doing our best to try to bring in events that include the entire community. And I'm sorry, these artists don't scream inclusivity. So
Inclusivity.
yeah. So
Big Mike wants stats on your hip hop guests.
I'll get the
white
number.
women.
I'll get the number in
Those
the
are the
next
most.
hour.
I mean,
But
this truly was, though, as I tweeted out yesterday, a Cocktoberfest Christmas
It really
present,
was.
though.
Well, then you think too. You're like, okay, there's got to be the hip hop version of this. Master P did it was allegedly a terrible show, but just taking a bunch of acts that were big and then going on a big tour together. Like, there's got to be something like that.
you can do if they get do like a Justin Bieber, but throw in some Missy Elliott. Those are two major crossover
They got. I'm saying
characters,
they got to.
act-
They have to already
artists.
be out there doing it.
True, yeah. Like I said, I think if they were to go on tour in 2020, if there's a group of artists that go on tour, and again, I'm thinking like guys like Drake and Missy and Justin Bieber, like because I think Bieber, it's an easy 50,000 at Busch Stadium easily, and I think that would bring out certainly more diversity than what we've seen from previous shows at Busch Stadium. But I would love to, maybe we can reach out to the folks at the St. Louis Cardinals at Busch Stadium to get a better understanding. I do feel you on the sound off letter because I do want to throw it out there, but I also know the backlash. I also know that there are going to be people in the comments, you idiots don't know anything about booking shows and how difficult it
Well,
is,
are
and
there-
it's not about racism, and it's like about this. No, it's obvious that they sit down like most sales teams, and they look at the demographics, and they look at how are we going to get to this number, what group gets us there more efficiently, and they look at it and they go, oh, well, we already know that these people will show up for this. And that's fine. I just want them to say that, but also say, but.
I want to know, have you even tried?
There
That's
you
all
go.
I really want to know.
I agree.
Yeah,
Have you tried?
I would be curious too if
Because if not, then
Like,
I haven't.
That's a problem. If you
Yeah.
have not
Like-
tried, then I'm with you,
you've
Gardner.
tried, then okay.
then we can start picking
Tell
this
us
bad
what.
boy up.
Tell us what. Okay. If
It's
you've
something
tried,
you've
what are
noticed.
the issues that you're
Yes.
encountering?
because your issue would be Kaufman hosted this one thing, Wrigley hosted this one thing that you would check off as what would work, and then for some reason they just never come to Busch. I would guess that's not happening. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There are some very diverse artists that are potentially go on tour in 2020.
Stadium tour.
Yeah, stadium style tours that I think would bring out an interesting round of people. They say Rihanna's a possibility she could go on tour. We know Rage Against the Machine. That's cool. They're going on tour. Now that'd be if now,
They're not-
really put the Cardinals on the
They're not stadium level.
Rage.
Rage Against
Against
the
a
Machine.
reunion tour of Rage Against the Machine. You don't think that brings out 40,000 people? Oh, you crazy. What do you think, Gardner?
No.
Rage Against the Machine? I'm
That's-
going to see Rage Against
I
the Machine.
honestly have no
That's
idea. how that
Hollywood
went.
Casino.
That would be disappointing.
It
No,
sound-
I mean, it makes
it
sense.
does-
I'm not saying
it
you're wrong.
sounds like the amphitheater.
It sounds like an amphitheater show.
Yeah.
I don't think they're that big.
You don't think Rage is big enough for 40?
40,000
You're
people
probably right. In St.
across
Louis,
multiple cities.
they're a very
Well, okay, so the
progressive band, so I can absolutely see that not
do you,
being.
do you, and then
Point, no,
this
no, no,
is,
no. They're huge here. I just don't think they're that.
do you know this is? I mean, this is not a crossover.
like look at all
but
those
I would
bands.
tell you who would put 40,000 people in there because their fan base is cultish
Yeah,
and they love their band,
yeah.
and their band just put out a new album in August. And I went to the concert here last year or this year, and that's Tool.
Oh, you think 40,000?
I think they most certainly would.
if they could, then they would be doing it. Don't you think?
Maybe. I mean, but they
Does
they
Tool
s-
do stadium tours?
no.
You're saying?
Right.
I'm asking.
I know. I'm not. I'm theoretically talking.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, I'm not saying these are. Let's start there. No one we're talking about. I don't know if they do stadium tours or not. I'm talking theoretically.
You almost got really frustrated that I was confused that you didn't know what you're saying. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, I know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
and I've said it repeatedly. So it's if they're doing a stadium tour, I think they would because of who their fans are.
And what's also the youngest?
It's like
Artists
having
they've
like
had
a
at
Grateful
Busch.
Dead fan base or something like that.
But it feels like, but there also is. It seems like they're skewing towards a certain age as well. What's the youngest artist they've had? Because I feel like the demographics also.
This tour,
Like-
one of those country shows.
Yeah, I'm about to say
probably, right?
maybe the
Those
Kenny
guys- those
Chesney
guys
maybe
aren't that
brings
old.
out younger. Yeah, maybe Chesney brings out the younger crowd. But I feel like this crowd, what they're aiming towards also is it looks like they're aiming, and I get what they're doing. They're aiming for the 40 plus Clayton Ledoux crowd
Paul
because they know they'll.
McCartney, Billy Joel, U2.
That's the 40 plus Clayton Ledoux crowd, and that's
Oh,
nothing
wait,
wrong with that.
Dave Matthews was there.
Kirkwood, Webster Groves. There's a corridor that they get the Ledoux, Clayton, Kirkwood, Webster
They're
Groves
asking
plus
them-
40 corridor, who they know have disposable income, who they know will show up because they still are loyal to these particular bands. And I get that. Just admit that. And to Gardner's point, just
The
come out and
woman who
say
is-
we are trying to be more inclusive.
There's a woman named Vicki Bright. She's the vice president of event services and merchandising with the Cardinals. She deals with a lot of the stuff and oversees a lot of the stuff involving the concerts. You
Okay.
mentioned Ledoux, and the only reason I that caught my ear when you said that was I was looking at her bio while we were talking.
Where'd she go to school?
Well, she went to St. Louis University.
Okay.
I've heard of that.
Yeah.
5 seconds that way.
Yeah, she did fine. She lives in South County.
Okay.
You could give her our address.
This is in her bio. This is on the website.
Did you
South
say what high
County
school she
Strong.
go to?
She's I don't see the high school.
Well,
You
how's
wanted
she
to
gonna
know
put
the
a
high
bi- I'm
school?
gonna say, how's she gonna put a bio and not have the high school?
She's involved in something with Salem and Ladue United Methodist Church.
Okay.
So
And again, I'm not, and this is not by no means. I want to be serious about that. I'm not attacking anybody who's putting on these shows because again, I've been in their position. I completely understand. I just want to reiterate that I'm not accusing anybody, even jokingly. I'm not playing that card. I just right now it is frustrating. That's who doesn't want to go see one of their favorite bands in an outdoor concert venue at Busch Stadium, and it looks
it
like
just seems like she's the one to talk to.
right. And I would imagine that again there are so many other variables, so much crossover, so many things that has to go a certain way in order for them to pull these things off. And I also think I'm curious is it, when they decide on these events at Busch Stadium, do the DeWitts have a last second say? Do they have a say at all?
I'm sure they have some.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm curious. Like once you come up with planning all this, you have to shoot it up the line to the owners,
Yeah.
and so they may
I only
feel a
text
particular
Bill
way.
DeWitt III about bullpen cards,
makes sense,
so I
yeah.
won't
Can't
ask
be
him
important
about
Important
this.
stuff.
And,
right.
and maybe, like I said, maybe at the end of the day, I don't know. I don't want to, again, get too far ahead of myself, but I would like to see the Busch Stadium folks be a little bit more transparent on their efforts in bringing in more diverse artists.
We've got some comments. Jamie Moyer's Fancy Foyer says, Rage Against the Machines, Pure Anarchy Tour. Brought to you by Bank of America. Mike wants to know if Story of the Year would sell out Busch. Here's a point I was going to maybe
You have a certain governor open for them.
mention that Royce says bands at stadiums today are the bands that played stadiums in the 80s, and that's taken 5 or 6 of them, right? To kind of band together.
Right.
Afro Man would sell 40,000 at Busch. That's from Marcus Hennessy.
That'll happen, Marcus Hennessy.
I think
don't
Afro
that's-
Man played a bar in Soulard
don't think-
in Mardi Gras
I don't
last
think
year.
Afro Man could sell
Imagine
a
the
phone.
smoke in that building. Then.
Ed Sheeran crowd was fairly young, I bet. Great concert.
Oh,
too,
yeah.
Did
says
Sheeran
Triangle
do Busch?
Assassin.
Yeah.
Sheeran was at Busch? I thought he was at another stadium. Okay, he did Busch. Okay, that's a
So
young
he's the
crowd.
blackest.
Yeah, that may
No.
be the black
We-
people hate you.
We had this discussion
Yeah,
before.
we did. We already discussed.
We had to decide.
Don't know why. Seems like a nice guy, but the community has made a decision, and I got to go along with him. Chris.
I think we had the discussion: is it Ed Sheeran or Paul McCartney? And we had settled on Paul McCartney.
Paul McCartney's more hood, more relatable to my community. than-
Liverpool does it for him.
Yeah, because he came from the hardcore streets of Liverpool.
I wanted to do this just because it was a Cocktoberfest Christmas present. But remember, Busch Stadium concerts were a part of pop culture
They
during the
were.
month
They were.
of
That
October.
ain't the whitest thing a white man has ever whited in his life.
So I just wanted to bring that back real quick.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Drake can do that. Beyonce, obviously. Bruno Mars.
I'm not being a
obviously.
dick. Drake actually does stadiums.
Man, Drake I think Drake could do a stadium.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Does
Drake-
he do them?
I
You don't
believe
know?
I've seen him do at festivals, but that's festivals, of course. But I think Drake could do 40,000. Drake and maybe if you do Drake and I don't think they'll ever tour together. But if you did something like a Drake Rihanna tour, there's no doubt in my mind that would
Yeah.
be a good stadium tour to attend. I know Janet. I think she's doing a residency now, so I don't know if she would be able to get 40,000 at a stadium as well. But like I said, I do think there are artists or tours. But maybe instead of saying artists, I should say tours.
Yeah,
Because tours, because this is a tour. So this isn't just Busch Stadium picking 4 bands. This is a tour that's going to, and that makes sense. If you told me that, look, if I would put it this way, if I'm the Cardinals or if I'm the people at the Busch Stadium who are booking this, I book that tour. I book it, no doubt. I'm not saying this isn't a tour you wouldn't book, because I would. And Chris is right. That's easy money. At the end of the day, if we're going to put on this event, I feel like the Cardinals feel like if we're going to put on these outdoor concerts, we got to hit a number.
Well, yeah.
We need to hit this number. Who gets us in that ballpark? And I'm sure the metrics are the same that everyone across the country gets to see when they try to plan these tours.
So Drake in 2018.
I know he went on tour. I thought he went on tour either this year or maybe last year.
2018 with Aubrey and the Three Migos.
Aubrey and the Migos, yeah. So the
This
Migos
is the
and
quote,
Drake, yeah.
They did arenas.
Yeah, they did arenas. They came to
Pepsi
St.
Arena,
Louis.
Sprint Center.
They came to St.
yeah.
Louis. They came to Enterprise, sold the bad boy out. Some folks said it was one of the best concerts in St. Louis in the last decade. So people really enjoyed it. They put on a show. I just would love to see. I don't know. Maybe. Look, I think it's I don't know if he's been touring this past year, but I
No,
think
he's
it'd be
not.
time for a nice Bruno Mars to drop some new. So I think if Bruno goes on tour, then you have a chance to get him. You got to get him if you're St. Louis. Whether it's at Enterprise or Busch, if Bruno Mars goes on tour in 2020, you got to get him.
It looks like he has some concerts going on in the United Arab Emirates.
Yeah, so he may be doing that round. These
That's
days.
New Year's Eve,
That's-
actually.
I wonder how much
And
he's
then he
getting for
has
that.
stuff
Bruno Mars
going
probably
on.
getting shit ton of money for that
He
show.
might have a residency going on in Vegas because he's got
Bruno?
like 5 concerts in Vegas
When?
throughout March and April. At the
Oh shit! You ain't said none of word. Oh trap. Oh well, I know where I'm
Park
spending my birthday.
Theater at Park MGM.
Oh shit! Well, we know where Travis is going for his birthday. We going to see Bruno, baby. We are live from the Vegas Strip.
Rammstein is on a tour. Slipknot. Michael Bublé.
Mike Bublé. I enjoy some Bublé.
What about Pitbull?
Now Pitbull, could he do a stadium tour?
He's
Could
doing
Pitbull sell out
Looks
Busch?
like he's doing casinos
Alone?
here.
Alone? No, I'm with Chris. Alone? No.
The way Chris said that.
Alone?
Alone?
You're gonna throw some more
If we're
rappers
just playing,
on top.
if we're just playing fantasy concert series, that's one
That's what
thing.
we're doing.
I mean, you could put a lot of people together to fill 40,000.
What about Adele alone?
Adele?
Adele alone, St. Louis Stadium
I don't think
tour.
she's a stadium level person.
Here's what the question you need to ask yourself. Let's keep it simple. Can they get 40,000?
Can I get 40,000?
No.
That's what you're asking yourself.
Adele?
Don't
No.
ask the setting. Just say.
And
"Can they
remember,
get
you
40?"
and I think I don't know if you are doing this, but remember, this is also a centralized concert spot for over 400 counties in the Missouri and Illinois area. So I'm saying, so there are people outside of St. Louis County that will travel. And there are folks who even live in, say, Oklahoma City, who live in Columbia, who live in Central Illinois, who will make the 2,
That you're
3,
saying the
4 hour
event-
drive
the event
to
itself
see it.
lends itself
Yeah,
to the market.
I would imagine there are people who live in, like I said, in certain areas, parts of Iowa, parts of even Kansas City, who would probably say, oh, Adele's performing in St. Louis and they're not coming to KC or they're not coming anywhere local this year. Oh, I'll drive the 2 hours to go to St. Louis and see that. So I definitely think Adele would do 40,000. St. Louis alone, yeah, there are tons of people I think in St. Louis who would go see Adele. One of the greatest voices of our current generation. Who wouldn't want to go see that?
Phil Collins with Tarzan projected on a screen over
Now,
Ballpark
look,
Village.
Now that's not a bad play. That's not. Hey,
Says
hey,
Black Sheep.
hey, Black Sheep's on to something. You know what? He's thinking like a father. He's thinking about it. He knows what to get him and the family out to a concert. I like the way he thinks. That's not a bad play. Phil Collins would do 40,000.
I think he did a stadium, or maybe he does stadiums.
And Phil Collins is a little bit more diverse.
What about what about Harry Styles?
He would do 40,000. No, there's no doubt. He would do 40,000.
What
40,000.
are we just saying?
No, Harry Styles. I think you. First of all,
I think
you have great taste.
I think you're underestimating how much of an event it would be.
I think you're also underestimating these
But if
people's
they're not
celebrity and
doing
their
it.
popularity. Harry Styles is one of the most popular artists on the planet. He's got to be one of the top 5 probably most popular artists on the planet right now. His
So
album,
he's doing Enterprise Center.
yeah, he's doing Enterprise.
That's a fourth of the size.
Yes,
of
because
Busch
he does it.
Stadium.
He probably does because he's probably not going to do a stadium tour. Is he doing it right now?
Well, it'd be half the size.
And if he's
Is
doing
it
it,
20 at Enterprise?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
so
Maybe I'm thinking of
and if
Shape
he's doing it right now, it's probably off the piggybacking off an album, so he wouldn't wait till the entire summer to do his tour. So he wouldn't do a stadium tour in December, January, February.
It, right?
But I'm saying Harry Styles is as popular enough. If he were to do 40,000, I think he could do it.
Yeah, I think he could.
40,000, man. These guys got 40,000 people. I think you're underestimating people's popularity.
I think they'd be doing it if they could do it.
I think what they decide was, look, I can make, in this instance, with Harry Styles, can make the same amount of money for a regular arena tour than I would for a stadium. And also a stadium would make sense for me to do right now because I just released an album in November or December. And you want to piggyback off the success of that album by immediately going on tour. So you're not going to wait 6 months of the summer to do outdoor stadium tours. You're going to do arena tours
it's probably
right now.
easier to book the arenas than
Right.
the stadium.
Yeah.
Well, then there's probably way more cost for a stadium show as well. Like I don't know what the
And
percentage.
then, like I said, I acknowledge the booking. You're right. I think that the cost, and again, the booking. You're talking about not a lot of stadiums are available in the summer.
right.
People are playing baseball, and they're playing. There are things going
That's
on
what I'm
inside
saying.
these.
Like
Right.
it's harder probably
Right.
to figure out the schedules for all those. I would
And hell,
think.
I think even when Beyonce did her stadium tour, she did it where when all the sports teams were in season in America, she did the European part. And then when they became out of season, that's when she made her way back over to the States and started doing her big stadium tours, like at the Mercedes with the Dome in New Orleans, the Superdome, and all these places. I literally had my friend, she went to 4 Beyonce outdoor concerts, I think, last year.
What about Alan Jackson? He's
I
on
don't-
tour.
I would.
Way
Amphitheater.
down yonder in the
We can do better, St. Louis.
His latest album, Angels and Alcohol.
That's my kind of party. I think.
What kind of angels?
Your boy Sturgill's going to be at Shape. It's all exciting.
Huh?
Are you checking out Sturgill down the street?
I drive by the poster every day, and I'm like, yeah, glad to not see a Disturbed poster up there. I thought about that. I think it'd be fun because he's got the new album out, and it'll probably just be those kind of songs and feel and all that stuff. But yeah, probably, maybe, we'll see.
What about Cher?
I think Cher could do 40. You really underestimate these people here in St. Louis and what they love. Do you listen to do you know what songs are popular in St. Louis?
No.
Exactly. If you once you see what songs are popular in St. you'll completely understand why these 40,000 can easily show up. People love the shit out of Cher.
I
Who's
feel
young?
like you'd have to like Cher and Madonna.
No, I think you could. I think you'll see
40,000
40,000
is so many people.
Yeah, you're right.
The Turtles have announced their Happy Together tour.
Mm.
Who's Young Dolph?
Oh, Young Dolph, he going on tour?
And Key Glock?
Key Glock,
Memphis rapper.
Why are
Yes.
why are you just yelling him these names back? at
Young
him?
Dolph, preach.
Is that a song of his, or are you
Yes.
just?
Or
oh,
are we
okay.
preaching?
Yeah, I wasn't quite sure what you were
Dolph.
trying to get at there.
They are Memphis rappers. Oh, where are they? When they coming to St. Louis?
I'm just looking at
I
tours.
was about to say,
just-
if you don't have it, well, we can do it in the break. But I didn't know Young Dolph coming to the Lou. Old Trav is going to have to make his way on down. Memphis.
Do you think that when people are on tour, it's kind of a blur anyway? And whenever they do the New Orleans, Memphis, St. Louis run, you're like, "Am I in the same city?"
Yeah.
like,
But that's a good run.
each
If
time.
you want to talk about sister cities like St. Louis, Memphis, New Orleans, and Atlanta, they're basically
I used to-
Atlanta. Obviously, a little bit, obviously more population, a lot more going on. They're kind of like the older brother. but their sister cities are definitely St. Louis, Memphis, New Orleans, and some would even argue maybe parts of Houston.
The Celtic women.
Mhm.
I think they do 40. Imagine them outside. Oh,
How about you do this, Gardner?
I
know.
think
I know what it gets.
that's who I want as the next concert.
No, I think what'll happen.
I
is,
want the Celtic woman.
I think we're gonna get Gardner to try to go in and ask about diversity when it was all a ploy the entire time. And he goes in, looks
To
around,
suggest it.
looks at me, and goes, "Okay, what are we doing to get Arcade Fire at Bush? How do we get them?" I was sent in to find out if you're going to bring in more black acts, but that was just a ruse for me to get in here to ask you, what can I do to get Arcade Fire to do a show at Busch Stadium?
So I won't.
How can I
wouldn't
contribute
deny
to that?
that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't commit.
That's how you should end your sound off letter. And I think these artists deserve their day. But if they can't, Arcade Fire will do.
They'll do just fine.
That'd be a great sound off letter. That'd
Like,
be pretty
if you
funny.
wanna see-
People like, yeah, he's speaking for the man. He's speaking for the community.
If Chris
Arcade
truly,
Fire.
if Chris truly wants to see me be a coward, there it is. Well, yeah, principles. And, wait, Arcade Fire? Okay, fuck y'all.
Travis, fuck your
This is
Drake.
about me now.
Forget your
this
Bruno
is
Mars.
It's no longer about anyone else. It's just about me.
If Pitbull brought all 500 associated acts, he could do 40.
Yeah, he could.
That's
I
just
agree.
Big Mike.
That's right. Big Mike's dead on.
I'm on board with Celtic Woman is the next one.
Oh, my
Billy,
goodness.
Billy Fat Pants wants Chris Stapleton there. He ain't bringing 40, bro.
Chris Stapleton at Bush? Chris Stapleton's bringing 40.
You'd have to do an all-star.
Chris Stapleton.
It'd be like Stapleton,
Man, did you
Sturgill,
see-
and Isbell. Like,
You
that's
saw
what it
how
has to be.
hypnotized
that'd
that
be-
crowd was when
Now
we
it's,
came to Lou Fest. Chris Stapleton was just. I'll go check out some Chris Stapleton.
The High Women opening.
Oh, well then now look. You take Chris Stapleton and the High
And
Women.
they finally, and then they and Isbell gets word of it.
Oh God!
So he makes sure that Yola is on the bill, and she's the first black act at Busch Stadium.
You
for
know
these
what?
concerts.
That is that's a way to answer all the questions and still providing just a tinge more diversity. That's where I am with the Busch Stadium concert. I'm willing to accept a Chris Stapleton, High Women, and Jason Isbell concert.
Well, no, we gotta have Sturgill in there to keep.
Oh, you want
keep
those
it-
Sturgill?
I mean, you gotta drive tickets.
Look, if we're if we're talking just those four incredibly white artists,
No,
I still
Yola-
here's the thing. I
Yola.
still think they're more diverse than what the Cardinals have put together in the last few years.
I mean, in their tweets for sure.
I'll see Stapleton. I'll see Stapleton again. I enjoyed the hell out of that show when he came for Lou Fest. That was fun. That guy was he may have been the coolest motherfucker I've ever seen on the stage. I was like, damn, hey man, who is this? Who is this guy? He is dope. I enjoy me some Chris Stapleton. Holla at your boy Chris.
is it
Come on the show, Chris Stapleton.
Whale or Wally? Wale?
Wale?
Wale.
Yeah. Now Wale, big in the hip hop community. He has some very good
Arnold
albums.
Guthrie. Oh, riding on the city of New Orleans, Illinois Central.
Good time to tell you guys we've got a comedy show tonight. A pair of them kicking it off at 6 o'clock at Sophie's. That's right, the Artist and Cocktail Lounge in partnership with our friends at Jack Daniels. We'll have Schlafly specials. Gonna be a great show tonight. Stop by, enjoy happiest hour right here in Grand Center. Early show, great comics. Gonna be a fun time. Max Price is on the bill. He's been killing it lately. He was on tour with Preston Lacey from Jackass recently. Max is very funny. And 3 other comics as well. Matt Wayman can open up the show. You know, he's one of our favorites. Michaela Moore. And I believe one other on the bill tonight. And I'll tell you more about that in a second. Stop by. Also, big thanks to young professionals of Gateway Pet Guardians as they're bringing a dog named Honeycomb
Aww,
to the show.
honeycombs.
She's adoptable. You can come have some fun and check it out. It's going to be a blast. Ron Finger says, get you some comedy. Come on by, Ron. You get yourself some comedy. Let's have some fun. How we feeling, guys?
I'm feeling Celtic Woman as the next big act to come through.
Chris, next big act the Busch
Busch
Stadium books. He's got Celtic Women. Who do you have before we go to break?
I'm going to echo Triangle Assassins' sentiment and diversify by bringing in Hootie.
Okay. Not bad. Not bad, boys.
I'm just trying to sell those tickets, man. Yeah, we should build our dream Busch Stadium show. we'll have that. And we should each make a flyer.
Oh, I have one from my Gardner-Roo. I did a Gardner-Roo lineup some years ago.
Okay. Well, we'll make those. Maybe we'll have those for tomorrow or next week. We'll take a quick break. Gardner needs a cigarette. We'll make sure that happens. Thanks to all of our sponsors working with us, like St. Louis Counseling Services. They provide counseling in the St. Louis area, and they have done so since 1955. Give Tom or Debbie a call over at St. Louis Counseling. They also do the podcast here, Mental Health Matters. Check out that on the website, stlouiscounseling.org. Quick break. Be right back. Welcome back to the show. It's We Are Live. Chris Dem, Travis Terrell. Don't forget, happiest hour at Sophie's tonight. Michaela Moore, Marquise Moore, spelled differently, 2 different Moores, and Max Price, plus Matt Wayman. Going to be a great show. And then Gastro Pit at 4916 Shaw. You know, they do catering as well. Don't forget that. Gastro Pit hosts us each Thursday for Free Comedy Thursday in partnership with Jack Daniels. Come in, have yourself a Jack Daniels, and see some free comedy. Tonight we've got Emily Hickner, Keith Hughes, our friend Steve Beatty's doing a spot for the first time on the show, and then Max Price is going to headline that too. So it's going to be a fun night. Stop by either show coming up tonight in the general city area. You can come different times. We've got the Great American Race. We were discussing concert series last hour. Be sure to check out the Midcoast YouTube page if you missed that. And also, thank you, everybody, for chiming in. We're getting a lot of fun comments and interesting perspectives today. Gardner, we were discussing some stuff at the break real quick, and I don't know if you know anything about this. The fella in Jeff City declining the money for the MLS stadium, saying this. What's going on with this? Do you know anything?
No.
It's very strange, right? They said they were going to commit $30 million of state money
Did
to
they
it.
say they were committing $30 million, or was it an option and they chose not to go with the option?
I guess where people are confused is it seemed as though, I don't know the full story, it seemed as though they would be doing that, and then now he's saying no.
Yeah, and I don't know who's
Yeah.
saying what is
Yeah.
even the deal. Or if
Also, they're not in session right now.
who?
The Jeff City.
Well, I mean, this isn't the Congress or reps or anything like that.
This is just a person just saying
It's
outright.
a board.
It's a board who said we won't sit or we
It's
won't.
like Finance and Development
Okay.
Board or something like that.
Okay.
And I guess there was a panel within the board even too. Here's the thing: we were under the impression, it seemed, and others were, it seemed,
Mm-hmm.
that they were going to get $30 million in tax credits on that land.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess there's a cap for how much you can get or how much they give out each year. I'm not quite clear on that. I'd have to read more on it. And so they were going to split it up between years. So like 15 million this year and then 15 million early next year to allow some versatility and flexibility in what they were able to give out. Now, apparently they're saying, this might be the board, I think, that that would go over their limit.
Yeah.
And they weren't willing to do that. However, they have done that in the past with other entities, in particular sports franchises.
Right.
So it has been done. The only real question I have here is, was something promised or not?
Mm-hmm.
Or was it intimated it was okay?
Right.
Like, because it seems like things wouldn't go forward like they would if you were under the impression that this was going to be a major issue. And that's where I'm confused and I have questions. Is what was promised, what was intimated, what was said to who said it, and if it was, then what has changed, and who has changed it. So those are the questions I have, and I don't really know the answers to any of them, even with checking with people at this moment.
We don't believe the state's decision will interfere with our support of the MLS for the Lou ownership group and their commitment to this project. It's a more than $460 million private investment in downtown West that will anchor and revitalize mixed-use district, create hundreds of construction. This is Slider Cruisen, essentially saying that it won't be a drastic effect on how they go about in building the stadium. The group says, though, that it could be closer to maybe $6 million in tax credit, but they said they thought funneling $30 million at this moment was just too high. So things can change. If it's one thing I know or we've learned about the Taylor family and the ownership group for this soccer is that they don't do a ton of detailed talking through the media, and when there's something finalized, then they'll let you know. So I think this may be the folks down in Jeff City playing their poker games, but if it's one thing I've learned from just seeing the Taylors put this all together this last year, I would not be surprised if we learn in early 2020 that more than 6, maybe less than 30, but more than 6 is going to be allocated in tax credits to this particular project. I put it this way, I would be surprised if this surprised them, this statement or this the development
They
committee.
seem surprised.
They seem who said they were surprised?
The spokesperson for the ownership group.
Did they? I didn't see that statement in here.
And somebody in charge, Otis Williams, I believe it is, with the city, associated with the development portion of the city, I believe. And then he had a statement in the Post saying, we'll look at other possibilities, which I don't know. It seemed that way to me, that they were caught somewhat off guard. That's why my questions are, all I want to know, what was promised, what was intimated. Oh, we start there. If something was, then why is it not now? Just because that's not it's not a good way to go about doing business necessarily, especially when you're trying to develop something of this magnitude. So that's what I'm curious about. And plus, I want to know if I can call the governor names or not. I placed one call to ask if it was appropriate to do so, and I was given a green light. So on the Twitters, I called him by the nickname the Bolivar Bullshitter.
Oh, is that a new T-shirt coming?
Yeah, we'll see. I got my Josh Hawley one on today to honor the man because we got that ACA ruling yesterday by the Fifth Circuit as they continue to tear down what some know as Obamacare, but the ACA.
Romneycare.
Yeah, Romneycare.
Now that's working. You can't call it Romney.
We'll allow Romneycare to play Bush Stadium, but
Thank
not
you.
Obamacare.
Thank you.
That's funny.
So I wanted to wear the shirt in honor of the good work he's done, Senator from Missouri.
I think, and I'm just reading a little bit more into the article. It's perfect posturing going into an election year. You don't want to be the guy on the board that votes to give $30 million to public money to another stadium project. So I feel like these guys are creating cover for themselves.
This is my problem. I don't care.
Right.
I want to know what was intimated, what was promised,
Right.
and what has changed.
But if it's anything we know
'cause
about
if
politics, especially in the state of Missouri,
but-
you can promise whatever the fuck you want. It doesn't matter.
Well,
I'm just saying.
it does matter because you are assuming certain responsibilities for a project to be accepted by a league.
Right.
And if you lied to them, that's an issue. If you make promises you can't cover your ass with, that's an issue. So I would like to know what those were, if any. Like maybe some people read it wrong. I find that hard to believe.
Right.
This seems pretty straightforward. That's why my questions are that. Like, this isn't the time to be playing the game. Like, the game has already been played. And you sold it, it seems, a certain way. And that's not the case anymore.
Right.
I want to know why.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay.
So I know who to call a liar or not. I just want to know who to call the name. Tell me who I
There
can
we
call
go. You
names.
just got to kind of keep prying at it. You know, there's more to it. You got to go further
Yeah.
beneath the surface. I understand. I completely understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, that's all.
I understand
That makes sense. What doesn't make sense is trying to purchase sex on an app with a gift card.
You can't do that? I mean, what?
One of your pals, Travis,
Oh, dear.
got on Grindr and tried to trade homosexual sex.
So can I ask? I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't know his position.
Wait,
I don't know his
you don't
title.
know this story?
I don't know. Gardner told me the story, but he did not tell me the details.
Did you tell him? I want to see if you can guess what gift card he used. Do you know? Did you tell him that?
No.
Okay.
Oh, wait. I don't know.
Fast food.
Shit, I don't remember. Fast food is it a popular place?
You have leaned on it for comedy in the past.
Chipotle?
No.
Arby's?
Nailed it. Almost.
It's a
He
Lion's
tried to
Choice.
give. No, he no.
did
I'm
Arby's?
saying
It was
yeah,
Arby's?
Well, you got on the second try.
Okay.
That's what I said.
Can I also guess his profession? Is he a state representative?
No.
While a solid guess, no.
Superintendent of a school district?
Keep going.
Pastor?
Boom.
Damn. Thank you guys. That was Arby's
can-
gift card
I
and a
think,
pastor.
I think he's a professor as well.
You can get yourself.
So so what happened?
Get yourself some of them curly.
Wait, so how did this end up even being? How did this go public? How did he become a story? How in the hell did this become public? That this
I don't know.
this
I have to
youth,
go
this
look into it.
pastor, I don't want to say he's a youth pastor.
The
just say he's a
first person
pastor.
I saw to tweet this out, where I saw the story yesterday, was Kathleen Madigan. And she even apologized for her joke with it, because I think it's the running joke now. All the meats.
Missouri church leader tried to pay for sex on Grindr with Arby's. This is from the New York Post. Travis tried to lure beefcakes with the meats.
A Missouri church leader allegedly tried to pay for sex on
Using
the
the handle DILF.
Oh,
Barry. Oh, Barry.
Barry Cole Poner, 57, allegedly tried to bed hot college-age guys by offering to pay for gas, clothes, and roast beef sandwiches. Damn. Police told Kirksville Daily Express. The Church of Christ. He's a Church of Christ elder who is also a professor at the nearby Truman State University.
Does that mean Jehovah's Witness?
Oh my
Elder?
God.
Church of Christ?
No.
that-
That just means he's up in the church. He's
No, but what's
higher.
Church of Christ? That's code.
Elder,
No.
I've heard associated with one religion I can think of.
Mormon?
Yeah, but I don't know what that church is.
Elders? There are elders in mostly all the churches.
Yeah.
Not the ones that matter.
Oh God.
We don't say elder.
Churches of Christ consistently teach that in baptism, a believer surrenders his life and faith. Okay, so he's like,
Is it affiliated with any?
I guess, disciple.
He was busted after a student reported him, and a cop went undercover on the app, according to the paper. Pointer allegedly sent the officer a message saying he would love to have a sugar daddy relationship, then offered to fill up his gas tank in exchange for sexual favors on December 3rd. According to the paper, if the younger guy
Did
was
he mean to
willing-
literally fill up his gas tank on the car, or was it?
Another point. He was greeted by officers at the gas station where he tried to flee.
He tried to flee?
So what's the charge? Is it because he offered money?
I guess because you're offering money or something in exchange for sex. Here it is. He was charged with patronizing prostitution and faces up to 6 months behind bars. Truman State has since suspended him. It wasn't immediately clear if he was still in his leadership role at the Church of Christ, which has made homophobic comments in the past.
Huh. Well,
I don't think
sorry,
any of us
Dilf.
I don't think any of us are surprised. I think we are surprised at the handle DILF. But here's my thing. Here's what I don't understand.
Dilf was available?
Here's what I don't understand. He could
At
have
DILF.
accomplished this without the app.
Yeah.
Why did you use a public app
Because it's
in a
easier.
town?
Yeah, why do you?
In a town? Where is Truman State again? Truman State.
Kirksville?
Yeah. So what, the population, maybe 30,000.
Not even.
Yeah. So how did you think this was going to go?
He was covered. He was Dilf.
I'm assuming he had his picture on there. No.
Our friend Nick Freed might be sitting in Monday. He went to Truman State. I wonder if he had this guy in class.
Dilf? Professor Dilf? That's not going away anytime soon now, is it? Hey, look, it's Professor Dilf. Huh.
Why you got to rat the dude out? Why you got to snitch on him like that? Like, I'm happy that he's exposed because he's a fraud and a phony. However,
So if he wasn't offering anything, it just would have been fine?
I think essentially they're getting him just on the trying to pay for sex.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm saying. He should have just been like, picked up the guys and then just gave them that stuff
Yeah.
without broadcast. Like, I don't understand
But maybe he needed that
to
to...
entice them.
Yeah. But I don't see him.
But you can say you're a sugar daddy.
Arby's roast beef sandwiches.
Man, the roast beef, the roast beef sandwich, they're pretty good. They got
With or without the cheddar?
Our gyros are very good as well. Very good gyros.
I actually like the combination of Arby's sauce and horseradish.
Not bad. Chris, what would you do for roast beef? Excuse me. What would you do for
To Professor Dilf?
What would you do for an Arby's gift
20,000 people. Nick Freed says 15, and then Triangle Assassin says closer to 20 because he went to high school there. Let's see. I'm trying to see this real quick. Freed says He didn't have him, but I had him in class.
Hey-o!
No, mean. And then ask gas or beef, no one passes my class for free. Was his thing.
I can't watch Arby's commercials.
Here's-
anymore.
Yeah,
here's-
what fast food would you would like get you over the edge? And you don't have to do it with Professor Dilf. Say your sexual preference being a woman. Say it was a woman who you were on the fence about, and she's like, "Listen, here's the deal. I got your gas. I'll give you some money for the week." And then you go back to the negotiating table and you say, "Okay, I'll take it." And which fast food you go?
Dairy Queen,
Oh,
I'm honestly
and a Blizzard?
thinking.
You
I'm
get
here's
chicken
what,
strip basket.
here's what I'm
Texas
thinking would
toast.
happen.
double cheeseburger.
I'm
Blizzard.
almost certain this is what happened.
I know exactly what you're gonna say, and you're right.
One of his boy toys didn't get
Yep.
their gift card.
Yeah.
There's no doubt.
Somebody ordered
Somebody-
the curly fries and got the straight.
Now, you told me you
No
was
pun
gonna give me,
intended.
you were gonna, yeah, you was gonna fill my car up, and you only did half a tank.
Yeah, you can't do that then.
Can't do that.
If that's what happened, then
There's no doubt about
Then
it.
this
That's
is
the only
what
way you
happens.
snitch. If some,
You said
Yep.
my paper was going to be an 85,
yep,
and it specifically said 78.
yeah,
you get your comeuppance then.
yep. That's what
Don't
happened.
Say that.
He absolutely, he definitely went back on his word at some point. It sounds like this guy
Not the
was,
word of the Lord. That's for sure.
He definitely went back on that. More ways than one. Went back on his contract too. Also, probably with
Boy.
Truman State,
Hmm.
soliciting sex from their students. That's probably also grounds for termination. He's suspended. I get. Look, due process, full investigation. But if he's out here soliciting students, no fucking way that guy gets to teach anymore. I don't care if they do end up dropping the charges. Get that guy the hell out of that university. You can't work there anymore. You can't solicit sex from your students.
Where else are you going to fill your thirst for hot college
Kirksville,
guys?
man, like Kirksville, like you had to have known. Like I feel like these
Why
guys
are you
who
dipping down to
hide,
Como, man? Bigger pool, people.
But
don't
that's
know?
what I'm saying. I feel like these guys want to be found out. Like I feel like they
I
put
mean,
up
yeah.
this fight.
Cathartic.
It's got to be.
There is
Then
a
why was
part
he
of-
trying to flee?
He was trying to flee because he was
Because
hoping
he
that.
thought that was part of the game.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, catch me, boys, catch me."
That's offensive.
That is offensive.
Is it? Maybe he sounds like that.
Catch me, boys,
You said maybe. You don't know.
I'm
But
not
this
mad at
is-
trying.
This is
Big
how
Mike says he's a Lion's Choice man himself.
Ah,
Lion's Choice would do it for me
I'll
too.
get you. Yeah.
I'd say Lion's
wanted extra seasoning. No deal.
All right, here we go, boys. What fast food?
This is going to
Would
be.
you
this,
want
We're going to
an
answer it, and
exchange?
it's going to be a melee. we're going to make a poll.
Yeah, yeah.
We're
What?
going to say inspired by Dilf Preacher.
What?
Professor Dilf.
What would you take?
Pastor Professor Dilf.
What gift card from what restaurant
Coming
would you be
season
willing?
2 of The Righteous Gemstones.
Oh God, yes.
Is that Pastor Professor Dilf?
Actually, that would be a good storyline.
I'm going to message it to Danny
You should,
McBride
you
right now.
should. Get a writing credit while you're at
Yeah, make sure you get this one in next
it.
year.
Yeah. This, I think, but what fast food restaurant would you accept sex in exchange?
No, this is what closes the deal.
I'd say Dairy Queen or Lion's Choice for me. Because both offer ice cream, delightful ice cream as well.
Arby's says what do they have? Like
It's not the same.
Frosties or something?
Yeah, it's not the same. Now,
Nick letting us know there are no Arby's in Kirksville.
That's what happened. That's what, motherfucker, ain't even no Arby's around here. What the fuck, man?
you know what would have made this story better?
I just-
Is if it wasn't an Arby's, if it was Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
And that's actually
And-
that's my gift card. That's
That
what I
would've
want.
made- that would've
That's
made
it.
more sense,
That's
too.
who I want. That's who I want. If I'm exchanging something for sex, I want the biggest Chick-fil-A gift card. Now that I'll be willing to do some
particular,
things for some
gay
Chick-fil-A.
sex.
Yeah, well, for Chick-fil-A, that'd be
Chick-fil-A,
hilarious.
that would have. That's what would have just been.
What'd
that,
he order?
That would have been
Chick-fil-A.
the cherry on the top for this one. Because what I was thinking of when we think of Chick-fil-A's, I was also thinking of who else has good ice cream where I could take advantage of.
Gardner.
They have good
Shut
stuff.
up,
They have a solid
you-
strawberry
You
shake.
fat son of a bitch. Just shut up.
You're the only.
Shut your mouth.
You're the only guy who quit drinking and his liver's worse off. You've replaced it with things that just attack
You
your
asked
liver.
me what fast food places would entice me. I'm looking for a combo here. I'm looking for food and ice cream. And I'm thinking Dairy Queen, Lion's Choice. And I'm like, okay, what other places has ice cream that I like?
So
So Chick-fil-A. I'm like, oh, this would be perfect
I am-
for the story.
I'm a bit disturbed that you
It's like you talk about being out of touch. Okay, boomer.
right. It's just like
Yeah.
you took the time to break down.
You asked me to think about
I
it.
didn't think he was gonna break it down. You're like, you know who got some good lemonade? But the lemonade ain't as good
Have
as it
you
is over
met
here.
me?
I know. That's why I feel terrible. I'm an idiot. I should have saw this coming.
This is your fault,
I
not
should have
mine.
known. Well, you know they got nice bathrooms in there, so that would also work. But you know they're napkins. They're not soft enough, so I need softer napkins. I should have known that there was gonna be more to your answer.
When you talk of napkins, I love the napkin dispensers at White Castle because they deliver them in 3 at a time. They're electronically censored.
They are
Do you
electronic
mess with him a little bit? And,
They're wonderful. Actually.
you go, all right, no Arby's. I'm going pizza. And he's like, all right, that's fair. That's technically a fast food. And then you go, Pizza Hut. Aren't they like $25 for a pizza?
Basically.
I feel
H-
like.
How about this? And you guys
I
are
haven't
good.
had Pizza Hut in a while.
You guys are
No
good
one
at this.
has.
All right, now I want you to. We know what's going to happen next with this story. The guy's going to obviously probably at some point release a statement apologizing. Chris,
I
give
need a
me.
mugshot. Can I get a
give me-
mugshot, please?
Yeah, I know. There, oh God, that's gonna be sweet on campus. If you go to Truman State, how are you not selling that T-shirt? But here's-
Pastor Professor Dill.
Dilf. That's all it's gonna. So how does this apology go?
Man, I would be.
How does this sound, Chris?
Oh, is that as the Bible tells you? I'm sure. Are you familiar with the Bible? Kind of turn it on the reporter a little bit. I didn't think so. So what I've done in my 40+ years in education and theological doctoring. Do you have a doctorate? Didn't think so. If you read in Deuteronomy 7:43.
I gotta drop the scripture.
.74
Yeah,
in the Dewey Decimals at the college that I teach
is
at.
the
I'm
Dewey
sure
What
you're not-
Deuteronomy
you're not
was that?
learning. Seven. And,
Seven what?
Yeah. Well, what it tells you is to teach
Oh boy.
beautiful youth.
Just start sweating.
Yeah. and what Jesus is called me to do. Me. You don't have a Jesus calling. What it calls me to do is. Oh, those abs. Listen, and he's got his poor wife in her turtleneck sitting right next to him for the press conference
is
and
gonna be on
everything. And it's
stage.
it's one of those things where she's got to get trotted out there to be like, we're in a loving relationship, and you're looking at him, it's like they haven't had sex since 1978. Like, it's a problem. So you basically, he's going to turn it around on everybody and still kind of play the straight card, right? You think he checks himself into one of those camps? His wife makes him go to fix yourself camp.
This guy. Oh man. Oh, that's a good question. I'm
Well, I don't even know if he's married or anything.
Confirmed bachelor.
Yeah.
How long has he been able to do this? That's the question. I would be curious how long he's been able
I'll
to
tell you
do
what,
this.
I was on this Grinder app, and I thought I was trading for housework, is what it was. See, I'm confused. He could go that route. He could say he thought he was hiring a handyman, not looking for a handy man.
But and I think there was a documentary HBO did some years ago where I forgot the director of the film. They had basically concluded that the people who seem the most adamant about removing the rights from homosexual Americans are obviously the ones that generally. Chris, you've made the point before on the radio side, and I'm just curious. I want to know the psychological driver behind that, because I just feel like. And I'm sure it's
Suppression.
I would imagine that's it. It's just fascinating to see these guys. It's one thing, like I said, in this instance, it was done publicly. So, like I said, I feel like it was something he wanted to get caught. He needed to be caught.
Grindr isn't public. I mean, it's an app.
But with Grindr, is it like a dating app?
Don't play coy.
No, I'm not trying to be funny. I don't know how.
That's on. It's on your
Shut up.
first screen.
I don't.
It's
have a
like
dating-
Tinder.
So your face is on there.
I don't know.
That's what I'm asking. If it's like one of the Bumble app
I
where you see
assume.
people's with a profile and everything like that. Is that how it is?
I assume.
Okay. Well, and that's what I'm saying is that it feels like in a town like Kirksville, in a small school, it just like you had to have known that someone somewhere, especially when you were at a university. So even if you're in a very small conservative town, okay, maybe you can, I guess, avoid it. But I don't know why you would want to be on Grindr if you know the people in the town aren't going to be on there. So he had to have known that he was going to see students on that app, right?
You could put up a fake picture. Or something
Okay,
that
maybe
says,
that's what happened.
you know.
Well, I'm more curious as to the outing. I think the outing's probably
Well, like
just
you
as
had
good.
Terry Crews as your Tinder photo, right? Terry Crews with his shirt off,
Heck yeah,
and you're like, message me for the real thing. I'm way more ripped.
yeah.
Yeah.
Boy,
Uh,
a
Black-
ripped ass.
Looks like January 8th. I'm on CaseNet. He has his next appearance.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, you get a prosecution.
We are live from Kirksville.
No, we get no.
no.
Ultimately, you get a very minor charge. It's a solicitation charge, right? Which is like less than a lot of traffic tickets. So ultimately, this is
Patronizing
just, it's the shame,
prostitution.
It's
is
the
how
shame
described.
factor
It's
that they're trying to put
misdemeanor.
in. Yeah, it's whatever. Black Sheep is demanding St. Louis Bread Co. because he's a high class piece of ass.
Fancy.
Get one of those salads with blueberries in it. I get you. Gotta keep your body right too. Man.
By the way, this just
Did you decide yours?
I think I will go with Chick-fil-A. You can't
I
pass
mean,
that.
it-
I mean,
yeah.
you're gonna be soliciting.
That's the
sex.
one thing that like you can't just be like, oh, I'll take it's like a plain cheeseburger from Burger King. Like no, that doesn't do it for you,
Man,
right?
a good
Chick-fil-A will make people act weird.
Man, a good Chick-fil-A gift card is a game changer. So absolutely. I just
Go to order at Chick-fil-A.
recently I have been on the spicy deluxe. I'll get the sandwich, not the meal.
Sandwich. Oh, just
spicy
solo.
deluxe sandwich,
Okay.
solo.
Go
yeah,
on.
the meal, and then
Why
I
is it
will-
spicy? Is it pepper jack and
It's
a
pepper jack. It's and it's grilled, and it's got lettuce, tomato, pepper jack cheese.
Oh, it's grilled?
You can get it grilled.
Oh, you don't get it grilled.
It depends on how daddy feeling that day.
Mm-mm.
I don't get it grilled.
No, not a chance.
And then I go with, of course, the 4 chicken strips, or the 5 count chicken strips.
Now, Dan has jumped in and says Lion's Choice or nothing. I don't know that he's been listening the whole time. So we did this because the pastor, who's a professor, Professor Dilf, was
Pastor Professor Dilf.
soliciting men on Grindr and offering Arby's gift cards. So we're saying what fast food puts us over the edge for that. So Travis is going with the spicy deluxe. You getting the fries and what, large lemonade?
I'll probably get a large lemonade. I'll definitely get you gotta get the waffle fries.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get the fries are pretty solid. And that's an affordable meal. It's like
And Gardner, you're demanding ice cream with your Grindr hookup.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Lion's Choice or Dairy Queen would work on me probably.
Because you're a Brazier man.
Yeah.
What's your go-to at Dairy Queen?
I like the double cheeseburgers.
Good call.
Quality.
So if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna make it worth my while and get 2 double cheeseburgers and a medium Blizzard.
If you're taking it to the Keister,
Yeah.
you're getting the Blizzard. What Blizzard?
Either Oreo or Reese's, probably.
He's salivating right now. He's going to show up with a bag of Dairy
I want
Queen
some ice
later
cream
today.
now.
Okay, at 9:43 a.m. Garner's
I
going to
haven't
make
been
that
to
happen.
Andy's in a while. Andy sounds good today.
You're in your roots are in North County, so you side with Andy's over Ted Drew's?
Well, Fritz's.
Fritz's, that's
Yeah.
what it is.
I do side with Fritz's.
Travis, where does your allegiance lie?
Fritz's.
Over Ted Drew's.
Mhm.
What's wrong with you?
Fritz's is really good.
It's not
Fritz's.
Ted Drew's, bro.
It
And
is.
there's nothing and here's the thing, it's not by any means to knock Ted Drew's. It's just
Their
Fritz's.
turtle is better at Fritz's.
The Fritz's is for my community. Has been very strong. Not a knock against Ted. Ted is very good. Take the friends and
Yeah.
family out
Why
there
do
when
I
I
have
get a
to
chance.
choose?
Yeah, I really don't.
I'm gonna eat them
Yeah,
both.
exactly. Well, we can have them both.
Maybe in the same day.
Yeah.
Dan knows the context and stands by his statement.
That's fair. That's strong.
I want to know his order. Does he? What if he throws? What if Dan throws us a curveball and he's like, "I'm a ham and Swiss man, but it's got to be from Lion's Choice."
Mm-hmm. I'll do 2 roast beef with Swiss, some fries, and you know what? Why don't you get me the chocolate dipped cone there?
About the chocolate dip is going. Oh
Maybe
my
we go to
gosh!
Lion's Choice for lunch today.
Is that what you're gonna do?
I'm hungry.
I can tell. It's become a thing,
Yeah.
and you can get late night barbecue at Gastro Pit tonight for the comedy show there. That kicks off 8:30 on the hill.
Good.
It's very good. Yeah, they do a great job. The pulled pork nachos at Gastro Pit.
I want to meet the man who invented pulled pork nacho. I want to meet the person.
How do
who
we go
just
from
said,
Dr. Dilf to pulled pork nachos?
Yeah, makes sense.
But yeah, so
We're
okay,
talking
so
about
back-
delicious meat.
Yeah, that's true.
But who
You wanna interview the
I want
guy?
The guy,
Pulled pork
the
nachos?
woman or whomever, the individual who said
It was a drunk dude in a college town.
Man,
He had pulled pork and nachos, and he's like, "What if I?"
I will say that I there are a lot of things that go on in our world, but to be alive for that moment where pulled pork now is just a constant on nachos. I'm a nacho guy. I love traveling to different cities and trying that city's badass nacho, whatever that may be. I am a nacho guy. I will say this: I was slightly disappointed in the nacho performances when I was in New York. They weren't stellar. So right now, I would say St. Louis, when it comes to nacho diversity, is ahead of New York. As a fellow New Yorker, I can say that.
3 months he spent there. New restaurant idea from Mike: gas station, Lion's Choice, and extra large bathrooms.
Kind of like that.
Ron Finger says ground beef greater than pulled pork for nachos.
Ground beef is solid. There's nothing, and here's the thing: is you don't have to choose one or the other. You win at the end of the day. You got pulled pork. That's a win. That's like having LeBron. If you can't get pulled pork for LeBron, you get ground beef. That's like having Giannis.
All right, you're
Those are
dating.
world class.
How about I just do both? I'll do a half and half.
You're dating someone, and that she said, "I'm gonna make you my famous pulled pork nachos." Right.
Right.
You haven't known her that long, but it's to that point where like you want to get to know her better. Maybe you're thinking about taking her to meet your family. She shows up, and the nachos look good, the texture's great, and everything. You take a bite, and you're like, "That's all right. That's not bad." And she goes, "It's jackfruit." What do you do?
My baby girl.
She's a secret vegan.
Oh,
Is it
wow.
over, or do you admit
Is
that
it good?
the texture?
But it's good though.
You can be the jackfruit. You kind of, as long as you got the seasoning, you feel like you're eating
If you
pork.
if you can make good nachos, I'm game for whatever you put on top.
How
of
does it taste?
How does it taste? At the end of the day, if you can make some bomb ass vegan esque nachos, then a brother will be on board with it. I just enjoy nachos because it's an adventure. It's the opposite of crab legs. You know how difficult it is to eat crab legs and crack and juice and pulling the meat and all. Nachos, baby, just take your hands. You get the nacho axe as your scoop, and you get to eat the scoop. Like that is just genius.
It's like you have multiple spoons.
Yes.
It's
Ron,
like you have a lot
And you
it's like
can,
you have 50 spoons on
yes.
your plate.
Yes, and you can control how much or how little you want on said scoop. This is what I think. This is how, if you are running for office in 2020, these are the things you should lead with. Lead with the things that unite us, that bring us together. We are a nacho country.
Yeah.
You don't want, come on, man.
we got Ron says trick nachos are a deal breaker. Big Mike,
Trick nachos. That's such a term.
Trick Nacho would be a good battle rapper name. Oh, it's Trick Nacho
What is
in
he?
the building.
These is trick nachos.
Nachos.
Damn you! And then Big Mike, all caps, over. What else is she hiding?
Oh yeah.
Good point.
That's a good point.
Why you got to trick me?
That's
Voila,
With
her.
Trick
Maybe this
nachos.
is
She's
her way.
still married and the guy's in prison.
But maybe she knows your ass well enough. She knows if she were to introduce or tell you about the healthy option, you would immediately turn it down, and that your taste bud would be like, no. But
Yeah,
you're,
but you know what? That's my freedom.
but that's for idiots. Men are idiots.
Dan says
That doesn't-
jackfruit's a deal breaker.
both
That
can be
leads to
true.
Impossible Burgers. Those will give you cancer.
I look if a woman wants to keep me healthy and feed me,
Both,
and the food is good,
but
I don't
both-
care.
But what you just said that both can be true.
Yeah.
Men can be idiots, and it can still be my freedom to say no.
Look, if it's good, it's good. I'm eating it. I don't care what it is. I don't. If it's good, it's good. It's going in my gullet. I think we all know that for much of a fact. But I'm a nacho person. Whoever the candidate on the Democrat side that can free nacho
Oh, good.
Fridays.
You're open to. Okay,
Then I'm
good.
like, hey, Bernie, you want my vote?
Who will provide a nacho buffet bar?
I'm curious. Why doesn't a president suggest like?
Birch says Nacho Country. You gonna start talking about building walls now, Trev?
Yeah.
This is Nacho Country.
I think there should be. What's the harm of Elizabeth Warren saying, "All right, look,
Fuck her. She's gonna make a tofu nacho plate. It's gonna suck.
no, she's gonna go look free ice cream on Fridays." Executive order.
Do you think she'd
You see
put?
that? Fuck her. It's this Trumpism coming out.
No, I just think she'd put. I think she'd. I think if she made you
He's-
nacho. I
he's
think
a
if she made
sneaky
you.
Trumper.
I think if she made you nachos, it would have maize on it.
I think if why wouldn't Elizabeth
It was
Warren
before
nachos
corn,
be good?
Travis.
Or are you doing a
Oh,
Pocahontas
I
joke?
see what you did there. How am I
Maize.
thinking?
Oh, what a racist.
That's a smart joke and slightly racist. It's a smart racist joke.
I walked the line, and I had to wait. I had to saturate a little bit. Some brewery employees were made enough substitutions and add to the nachos that made the ticket look like a Walgreens receipt. Travis getting
Philly cheesesteak, chicken.
Wow, and all of it?
Look, man.
Why are you mixing your meats like
Look,
that?
Man, flat branch. And
Oh, that
what's
was a
the other?
problem.
What's the
Addison's.
Addison's. There's this restaurant in Columbia called Addison's, and they had the nachos
They
with
have
the
wonton
wonton
chips.
chips. Whoa! Shit! Oh shit!
Our boy.
Our boy.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yo!
serious. Banana peppers on.
Oh!
It's
Look!
a real
Look!
deal.
Look! Look!
Flat branches were like stoner nachos with a bunch of jalapenos on them. Stuff. The
Addison's
Addison's are like a
is
delicacy.
Woo! That look. Look, we may have to make a trip today. Can we got, you got 4 hours in your tank?
Our friend Andy's going there right now. She's back in town. We got I was trying to think. I want to say we have a friend who is also working at the brewery, and a lady goes, "How are your nachos?" And he goes, "You know, they're not Addison's, but they're a little different. They're great." And he described them. She wrote a letter saying he shouldn't be advertising other places' nachos.
Okay, does
Who
anyone
are
else
these
around here have wonton chip nachos?
Look, I don't know why that isn't more of a thing. Addison's figured it out. The wonton, if you haven't had a wonton chip, you're missing out. It is the most flavorful thing in the history of flavors. It is so there. And then you got the nachos, and they had the mozzarella cheese with the sausage. Woo, shit! They wasn't messing around. Them nachos was bad, boy. Them nachos was bad. They were no joke.
I can't find any.
Man, that was a game changer. Gardner,
Yeah.
we're going to have to find them. We may have to make some in the office. Wonton, oh, boy. Ooh.
Damn it, I'm fucking starving
Okay.
now.
Oh, no, man.
Addison's. This is from TripAdvisor.
I need
Nachos
wonton
are a
chip
must.
nachos and ice cream right
I'm
now.
gonna go find me some wonton chips this weekend. I don't know what I'm gonna make them with. I may just I'm gonna do it. I think I'm gonna make it for the family this weekend. It is. Yeah, it got me started.
I could
I'm
go
about to
get
take my
some
pants
pulled
off
pork.
right now. I'm about to really go crazy in this studio.
What are you talking? No.
'Cause that's how good those nachos are, Gardner. I will get butt ass naked for them nachos right now.
But why do you need to get naked?
Yeah, no one
Because-
asked you. to.
Because, man, it's just like that's how you got to enjoy. You don't need clothes to restrict you from getting to those wonton chips. I need to be ass
they're-
naked
they're
and
not-
sit in a Indian style
No,
in
I
the
don't
middle of
think
the living
you need
room.
to.
I can't. I just thought about what I'm doing on Friday
I
night.
think
That's
sitting
it.
Indian style is more restrictive to getting to the chips than actually wearing
That's a
clothes.
good point, but I'm still gonna get naked. You can't stop me there.
Well, that's your decision if you're by yourself.
Thank you.
Take it easy, Dr. Dilf. We got a couple other stories to hit before we get out of here.
You
We'll
want to get
just
to
do
Great
that.
American Race?
We'll have to push it till tomorrow. Okay, we're definitely doing it tomorrow, and we're doing it early in the show.
Let's do it at the top of the show.
We're doing it early in the show
Okay.
because you have Make It Racist tomorrow as well. It's going to be a race show. We're basically at shout-outs now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
Can we do shout-outs?
Shout out to Arby's, man. They're repping hard with their gift cards.
And I'd like to shout out to Lion's Choice
Mhm.
and Dairy Queen. And I wish Chick-fil-A could have been involved in that story instead of Arby's because that would have just been so much better. But it worked. All the meats thing did work with it.
Yeah.
Shout out to Adam Driver for walking out on Terry
I
Gross.
saw that. I was like,
Terry Gross,
it's
like-
NPR. What is that all about? Now, from what I understand, Adam Driver is very. By the way, do you know he's a Marine?
I did know that.
Okay.
Yes.
Great. That's really cool. I love his story about how he became an actor. But apparently he's very weird, like a lot of artists, about seeing his work. They say he doesn't like seeing his work at all.
Pretty common with some actors and
Yes.
musicians. They don't want to hear their
Because
own
he
stuff,
says
see
he
their own
likes
stuff.
to nitpick and he becomes very over analytical and obsessed about his performance and how it could have been different. And during the NPR interview, they played audio of him singing from the movie A Marriage Story. And he was like, yeah, I gotta go. I'm out. Walked off the set. I don't know if he's released an official statement, if he will.
It'll blow
but it'll blow over. And he's a fairly well-liked guy. And apparently, I mean, if it's around the craft, you can understand maybe why he feels a certain way, which is funny because it was on the same show where he told the story about how he hates.
Well, she said to not to take his she invited him to take his headphones off because they were going to.
Oh,
play a
really?
clip.
And it still wasn't
I guess not,
interesting.
no.
But no, yeah, that's weird. I like Adam Driver. I don't think I've ever seen a person physically walk up out of the interview after hearing their performance, but
And it was they said she was in Philly and he was in New York, and I don't know. You walk out on Terry Gross, man. It's messed up.
yeah.
Well, they say it's like to a phobia extent for him.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And he talks
So-
about it. He talked about it in depth with NPR, with Gross. He said about a year ago.
I
He
mean,
said,
if
like,
he
yeah.
goes on a late night show, they're probably not playing a clip.
Yeah.
He should do that thing with Conan where they do the Paul Rudd thing.
Yeah, that
Play
would
the
be
clip from the
hilarious.
fake.
It'd be perfect.
The movie he was.
I
in.
will say though, I was very on the fence about Adam Driver as an actor because I was like, "What? He was on Girls, so what?" And then, but I've seen him in some performances recently.
Black
and he's
Klansman was
He's
great.
a very good actor.
Have you
He's
seen
a-
Black Klansman?
I haven't seen it all the way through.
Oh,
Have you seen any of it?
I've seen like enough of it.
How much is enough?
yeah.
I
Thank
don't
you.
know,
Let's get
Just
specific.
answer the damn question.
20 minutes.
Okay. That's 5 more minutes than I've seen
And
of
then
Black
he
Panther.
had to go give a Arby's card to a kid.
Who are you
Can-
giving shout outs to?
Can I do another one?
Yeah, yeah, please.
No, absolutely not.
Uh,
One shout out apiece.
I want to give a shout out to Trumpy Bear.
Oh. Man, I almost got through the whole thing.
We did it,
Yeah,
America.
just ignore the top story in all the nation.
But it turns into 2 hours of it.
We did it, America.
Here's the resolution, actually. I have it here.
I
Resolution impeaching Donald John Trump, President of the United States, for high crimes and misdemeanors. Resolved that Donald J. Trump, President of the United States, is impeached for high crimes and misdemeanors and for being a lousy rat bastard motherfucking asshole.
Oh.
That specifically. And that
Oh,
was and that was
exact
here to
wording.
hear
They drew that up with it. Did they use the
Yeah.
old school quill when
No,
they
and,
wrote
and
it?
you know, and I think Nancy Pelosi said that actually in her speech last night.
Uh-huh.
That's what he was obviously being charged with.
I tell you what, I about lost it. I listened to some. It was on NPR throughout the day, and then I heard the dude from Georgia doing the thing with the Jesus thing and all that. And I was just, it was whatever, not however you feel about it. It's happening, and whatever else is going on. But whatever system it is, like there was no. Even though they'd be like, we should be in this together, it felt so counterproductive and so broken. The entire thing. These guys getting up there and doing their fake loyalties to the president. The guys on the other side, you're going to expect them to be opposing it. They seem to. I don't want to sound too much like I'm cheering for this or whatever. It felt so broken and so useless. It felt so ridiculous. I do agree with like, hey, uphold the thing, and they made the point of you're going to want to be able to do this if your guy's not in to hold people accountable. So I did agree with all of that for sure. But the entire thing just felt so. I'm going to scream, then you're going to scream. I'm going to scream, then you're going to scream. Whatever it was, it did not feel. It was so gross. Ugh. Didn't like it at all.
I think the thing that I knew where it was going correct when I discovered that Putin was pissed off. The fact that it pissed off Putin made me happy.
How do you know that?
He said
He
so.
texted you?
He said the Democrats they're idiots for impeaching the president of the United States. So I know if it pisses off Putin, that means we're doing something right. I think that if you want to take solace in anything, you know, if it made Putin happy, then you're like, ah, shit.
Yeah,
We
but he
stepped
could just be
into it.
saying you're dumb to.
Yeah, and shout out to Tulsi Gabbard for voting present.
Oh, conservatives' favorite Democrat. Of course, that's your favorite Democrat. The person who doesn't do anything, that doesn't have 1 ounce of conviction. Of course, the Russian troll agent would absolutely vote present.
What a coward.
What a complete cow. You're running for president of the United States. You represent millions of Americans presently, and you vote present?
Yeah, present.
What a coward. I couldn't, in good conscience, bring myself. Shut up.
Then maybe don't be in government.
Don't be in government. If you can, in good conscience, make a decision, don't be in leadership.
That was funny.
Idiots.
Also, a shout out to Roy Wood Jr.
What did
Who
Roy?
was asked, can someone explain this impeachment stuff to me? I'm not quite sure how this works. And he said, in this instance, impeachment is you and your homegirls having all the evidence that your man is cheating. But to break up with him, you got to convince a jury of his frat brothers, who was there cheating with him, that your man is a cheater.
This is why Roy Wood is one of my favorite human beings in America.
He's coming up right
That
behind
is-
Chappelle for being modern day Mark Twain.
Brilliant!
It's good.
You know what? That tweet alone may bring Daddy back to Twitter.
I do.
That
I was wondering if it would.
that one may bring me back to Twitter. That was brilliant.
When I saw that, I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
Travis is gonna really want.
You're gonna have to send that one to me. that is exactly it. He
What-
just broke it down.
What if you come back to Twitter, but you only follow Roy Wood Jr.?
I think I just do that. Yeah, mute everybody else. Just follow.
We'd
Roy.
all be better
That's
for it.
hilarious.
Yeah.
You know what? And see, I get now why people wish Jon Stewart was back, because Jon Stewart would be able to break it down in those very basic, hilarious terms, and that's pretty damn genius. That's that's how I'm going to explain it from here on out. That's exactly how you have to explain impeachment. That is genius. Roy's going to be he's going to have a huge 2020. I already know. I'm very man to be his brother. Oh man, to be a colleague of Roy's. What an honor. What a true honor.
I'd say so.
I'm not sure Roy would. Roy Wood.
Nice play.
I want to give a shout out to the people who were a part of Cats, the movie.
Like every actor ever?
Idris, Jason Derulo, Taylor Swift, James Corden, Rebel Wilson, quite a few other actors I know I'm missing, but I guess now the embargo on the reviews have been lifted and people are killing this movie.
going well.
They say the CGI is bad. They say it's distractingly bad. They say there are moments where the cats and the proportion to the things that are around them, sometimes they're small and the things are big, and sometimes they're the same size as the things that are supposed to be big. They're like, it's just a mess of a. They said it's hard to even get to how terrible the plot is because the CGI is so freaking distracting. I guess they say there's I guess some of the female characters they have the anatomy of a cat, but they also add human elements. So there's a cat. If the female cat has
Like they get a big furry.
they got a furry
Bosom?
boobs, and they say it's incredibly distracting. I said this is the best promo for that film because I had no desire to see cats,
And now you do.
but now I want to see cats.
You're going to get stoned and watch.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. That's going to happen, my friend. You're going with. I'm going to pop a few edibles. We're going to head on down to MX Theater here downtown, and we're going to.
They need to do a cut of Peter Griffin running over the cats. That's the funniest shit ever when he was drunk
Have you
and
seen-
pulled into the theater and ran over all the actors.
Have you actually seen the play?
No.
It is confusing.
Why'd you
It
say
is
it
the
like
most. It was at the Muni, and I went.
No, he was asking why I said it like that.
Oh, yeah.
It's cats.
It was one of the most watched, most popular
like
Broadway show
musicals?
of all time.
No.
You
Why
wouldn't
do
be
say-
like you
why
don't
do
want to.
Why does your face do
Chris
that?
hates popular
Cats?
things. He hates popular things.
I would
If a lot of
spend-
people like it, Chris
No,
is going to
no,
run
no.
away
Does that
from
question
Not
is
true.
manhood?
it. Yeah, it does. He does. Chris doesn't like to be a part of the crowd. So if
When
he's
Harry
not the
Met
first
Sally
one,
is a national treasure. What do you think of that?
you watch that?
National treasure is a national treasure. my
Great
friend.
point. Thank you. This is really
And
good, really good
scene.
point.
There you
Okay. This is the podcast. This is it. This is what we do.
Uh-oh.
Very interesting. Be sure
Uh-oh.
you're subscribed on the Midcoast YouTube channel if you haven't yet. Tomorrow's going to be fun. We might have our boy Will O'Donnell stop by. He was just commenting that Roy is the best. He may be bringing a comic by from Funny Bone. And then Triangle Assassin says, careful what you say. Have you not seen the new documentary series on Netflix, Don't F with Cats?
No, but I will now.
Oh, okay. We'll check that out. For all of our sponsors, big thanks to them for supporting us. We're excited to be back tomorrow, live at 8 a.m. See you then.
Peace.